Today I'm going to show you a really cool resource called Plickers. A lot of teachers use Plickers in the classroom, and it's a really great tool to use with students. So with such a big push towards formative assessment and using our assessment to adjust lesson plans, this tool is a great way to get real-time data from students really quick to adjust lessons on the fly. So to get started, you go to plickers.com right here, and this is what the website looks like right here. Now, you do have to sign in to make an account, but the account is free, so don't worry about that. This is what it looks like when you sign in to use your account. So to start, you're going to want to create a class. And so right here I have a demo class to show you today. And you start with a question. So your question can be anything, multiple choice. So I'm just going to go with something simple for the sake of typing it in right now. So 2 plus 2 equals blank. You can say 1, 2, 3. You can even make it true, false, and then, we need 4, haha. Then you select the correct answer right here, and you click save. So that'll save your question right there. This feature is really helpful because you can create and customize your own quizzes to assess students for really whatever topic you're trying to teach them. Now, another important thing you need to do for Plickers is get the cards. So if you click on cards right here, the standard set is always free. So you can just click on the set and it will download, it pulls it up right here, but you can also download a full class set of Plickers. So each and every one of these little squares is an individual Plicker for a student. I've heard that it's really handy to cut the Plickers out on cardstock and cut them out and give each student their own individual one. If they use the same one every time, you can even track the students through the Plickers app and associate their answers with a particular student. Or if you're just kind of using it for fun and just random and you don't need to know the specific student, you can just hand them out. But I've heard it's nice to cut them on cardstock so they're more durable and they can keep it with their name tag. And I also have heard that if you laminate it, make sure it's not the glossy laminate because the reflection from the laminate can kind of interfere with the scanning, which I will show you in a minute. To get started with asking your class the question, what you need to do is click on Live View up here. And it's going to say Live View Ready, and now this is where you need to be using the app on your iPhone or on an iPad or your Android to set up the questions and project them onto the screen. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're looking at an iPad app on your iOS device or your Android device for Plickers. So when you pull up the app, you have to sign in, and then it's going to show you your classes. I'm sorry, this is not a very great way to show you, but bear with me. So for this demonstration, I'm using the demo class, so I would click on Demo Class. The next thing it's going to pull up is your demo class history and library right here. So what you need to click on to access your Plicker question is library right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it pulls up your questions that you have in your library. And remember, you have to enter the questions on your computer before you pull it up on your iPad. So that's where you create your questions, and then your iPad allows you to project it to the screen. So once you see your question right here, there's my 2 plus 2 equals 4. You can click on that question, and it's going to show you the question and the answer. And what you need to do is click on Scan Now, which is right down here in this bottom corner. Scan Now, and that's going to set it up for the student display on your computer screen that you can project to your smartboard. So I'm going to click on Scan Now, and then this is what it's going to look like. It's going to bring up a camera on the iPad, and now I'll show you what it looks like on the display screen. This is what the student view will look like, so they'll be able to see the question and the 4 choices or however many choices you added, and then this is where they are given the opportunity to respond using the Plickers. These are the example Plicker cards that I printed to show you guys how they work. So it's just the first page from the PDF that I showed you how to download earlier. And what the students do with the Plickers cards is they take their Plicker, and most of the time I've seen teachers have the students place it in front of their face. So they get to pick which answer choice they want to make. Now if you look really closely at the download or at the piece of paper, you can see the answer choices A over here, B, C, and D. And so the students get to choose which answer choice they want depending on which direction they face their Plicker. So if I was this top Plicker right here and I was choosing the answer choice B, this is how I would hold my Plicker. So the B is facing the top. Now if I wanted to change my answer to A, I would rotate it so the A is facing the top, and that changes my answer selection. So what the students will do is they pick their answer and they look at their Plicker and hold it the correct direction. Then that's where the iPad comes in handy. Is when you look at the iPad screen, it has a camera, and what you do is you scan the room for Plickers. So if I hold this Plicker card in front of the iPad right here, it's going to automatically register. You can see the little pop-ups coming up. It's going to automatically register these 2 Plickers. And once you've done that, you just click the check mark down here once you've got the whole class. So if you had a whole class full of students holding up these Plickers, you'd see a little bubble next to every single one. And if one of them wasn't coming through, you wouldn't see the bubble, so you can ask that student to move it, hold it a different direction, or if somebody's covering someone up, you can have them adjust that way. But then you click that check mark button, and then this is what's going to show up on the computer screen. Once all of the students have scanned in their answers, or you've scanned in all the answers and they've revealed their answers, you can show the correct answer by clicking Reveal, and it will show what the students answered and also show what the correct answer is. So it'll go by answer choices. So there would be one for A, B, C, and D if a student selected each answer. But it shows who picked the correct answer so students can check their work. You can also look at it in a graph. This example is kind of small, so it's not as great for a graph, but that's what the view looks like after you've displayed the answer to the student. If I were using this particular tool in a lesson on addition, this would be a great way to formatively assess my students and see kind of how much of the class has got it and how much of the class, how many students are still struggling a little bit. And you could also try it with different manipulatives, so you give them counters and you say use the counters and solve this addition equation. So that can even help you gauge how well they're using specific strategies to add. And it can be used for multiple different subjects, and it's not just for elementary classrooms, it can be used for middle school classrooms and high school classrooms too. Some smart boards have the little, what are they called? Like the little remotes where you can plug in the answers, and this is similar to that piece of technology, but it's free and you can set up as many questions as you want, and it doesn't require as much back and forth with the Promethean board, so I think it's really simple to use. Plus the students love to hold up the cards and feel really engaged in the process as well. So that's Plickers, great way to make review games and to assess your students throughout a lesson to adjust your instruction and see what you need to do.